budgets, bikes, and broadband on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, May 15th, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. The Conservation Commission met earlier this week and said yes to plans from the Barnstable Department of Public Works to prevent further erosion at Hathaway's Pond. Joe Marshall of Structures and Grounds explained the plan Tuesday night.
Basically, the plan we have is down at Hathaway's Pond. We're going to re-nourish the beach area, as here on the map, with approximately 3 to 4 inches of native screened wash sand supplied by Cape Cod aggregates. The second part of this project is over to the right-hand side on this map is a landing that is used by fire department and recreational divers. In this area, we've had an accelerated erosion by this picture here. What we propose to do is use native fieldstone as our surge stone rather than using a granite bluestone tailing. These are going to be supplied by Cape Cod Stone. We are going to lay and line those within, topping the surge stones with 1.5 inch round or 1 to 2 inch round stone, also supplied by Cape Cod aggregates. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Marshall answered questions from the board, including some regarding the protection of trees.
Yeah, it's upland from the roadway, the access avenue coming down. Another thing that we're going to try to do is down at the site there's a down tree. We're going to use that, I wouldn't say dead timber, but the old tree. We're going to kind of push people back from parking so much on top of this area. That's another reason why we're getting it's exacerbated.
That plan was given the nod. Well, this summer, broadband is expanding on Cape Cod. The Open Cape project is nearly complete and is set to launch officially this summer at the Mass Military Reservation, according to Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce CEO Wendy North-Cross.
If you're not going to do that for us, companies that make money doing this, we'll go petition the federal government and say that, here's our business plan, here's how we see this can work, please give us some money so we can build this open Cape access. And they have almost completed construction, which is why that June 14th date was released yesterday or earlier this week. It was released as the date that the official launch will take place, and there'll be ceremonies to commemorate that at Mass Maritime Academy. One of the first big customers for CapeNet, who built this open Cape backbone, is the Mass Military Reservation.
Says the Mass Military Reservation will be the first organization to hook up to the new infrastructure.
It'll be instantaneous. The security is extremely high because they can give strands of fiber that are dedicated to just Mass Military Reservation and no one else. And they can provide redundant services. Say a bank that already has maybe Comcast but needs redundancy and backup, they can be now an option that we never had before. We pretty much had a single provider in the region. So it's introduced competition into the region as well, and that competition, as you know, is always good for pricing. At the end of the day, there's, people will try to compete on price and service, and the consumer tends to win.
Cape is a brand new Cape-wide broadband network designed to increase the ability for Cape-based organizations to transmit data. Well, this Thursday, Town Council will meet and hear the annual budget presentation from Town Manager Tom Lynch and Finance Director Mark Milne. The fiscal 2014 operating budget will be unveiled that night. Milne talked to us about the budget and gave some numbers.
We're looking at the general fund budget for fiscal year 2014, increasing approximately 4.3% over the FY14 budget. That's excluding transfers. Transfers are essentially payments to ourselves, moving money from one fund to another. So if we take the transfers out of the general fund budget, we're looking at about a 4.3% increase in fiscal year 2014. It's a total budget of almost $131 million, and that, as a point of reference, about 6 years ago in fiscal year 2009, our total general fund budget was about $126 million. So we're about $5 million more than where we were 6 years ago. and it's a growth of about just under 4%
Much of
over
the planned
the 6-year
fiscal
period.
2014 budget focuses on quality of life.
The town manager has really put some effort towards putting money, directing more funds into those particular areas. Public safety being one of the highest priorities for the town council, where we are investing quite a amount of additional funds for the public safety area, particularly in the police department, where we're going to provide funding to continue the street crimes unit, which has been very successful for the town, as well as reintroducing or refunding the a comprehensive vehicle replacement program for the police department, and also putting money in the budget to begin the process of opening a new substation in the west side of town. Funding is provided for the last quarter of the fiscal year. In order to do that, we need to get the police department's sworn officer staff up to full force, which we hope to have in place by the last quarter of the fiscal year, and then we can open up a substation in the west side of town. So there's a real emphasis on providing additional funding for the public safety
Milne and
area.
Lynch will present the fiscal 2014 budget at this Thursday's Town Council meeting held in the hearing room at 7 o'clock. Town Council will begin public hearings on the budget at its June 6th meeting. Well, tonight it's time to get out that helmet and ride your bike to Town Hall for the Barnstable Buy Bike event. Director of Growth Management Joanne Miller-Buntich talked to us about her department's initiative to improve cycling conditions in our town.
You know, for many years, Growth Management has been working on getting around Barnstable by bicycle, which resulted in a plan, a map-based plan called the Barnstable Bikeway Network. It had a lot of components. There were shared paths or off-the-road components. There's, of course, the big effort to extend the Cape Cod Rail Trail across the town, sort of south of the Mid-Cape, and just various little ways to look at bicycling. So last year we decided that we would put in the work plan for this year a more focused effort about cycling in Barnstable, so we could develop a prioritized strategy for implementation. Some of these items will result in a capital improvement project that have to be put in the queue, and so on and so forth. So we also decided at the same time that this was a project that we could have a lot of fun with, and so that's sort of been our mantra going forward: is how to have fun doing this, how to engage the public, and get the information we need from the cycling community and the users, and get the plan going
Bike begins at 6 p.m. tonight in the Town Hall hearing room. Attendees are encouraged to cycle to the meeting. More information can be found online at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.